Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? In this video, we're going to talk about how to set your input levels for your USB recorders for the XM32 mixers, as well as the Wing. Now I'm starting down here with my thumb drive, and it's my drive G. I'm going to right mouse click it and say Format. And by default, it's going to FAT32. You can see the capacity of it here. And this is why it's automatically going to go to this FAT32 default, and I'm going to say Start. And we know it's going to get rid of everything. We don't care. It is complete. We say OK. Now, let's do the same thing, I think, with a 64 gig thumb drive. And we're going to come back up here. And there we are here. And if I right mouse click this now and go Format, as you can see, it will not go with the 60 gig card. It will not go into the FAT32. The exFAT will not work on these mixers. This NTFS, it will not work on these mixers. It has to be FAT32. That's why Behringer does not recommend you go over 32 gigs with their cards. Now on this 4 gig thumb drive I showed you earlier, I can get around 4 hours worth of audio at 48K. So now let's head on over. We're going to go into X32 edit real fast, and then we'll jump in the Wing. Okay, guys, so here we are in X32 edit. I'm coming out of my output on my first S16 connected to the Wing, coming into channel 2. So if we come up to the recorder now, as you can see, the signal I've got coming in, it's right here around that 10, which is fine. Right here is your trim. This is where you would cut that back, as you can see that one channel dropping off there now. Okay, and these are our tap points here, or what we actually want to record, I should say. And here's our actual tap points. Okay, so that's it. That's all you got to do. And you can only get a 6 dB reduction here. Okay, so if you're best to leave it on post fader. If you start getting into these pre-faders, then depending on how hot you have your mix, you will not be able to control it with the fader. So if I come over here, let's pop that back up just again. And I come over here to the, well, it's not going to stay up there. I got to pin it. There we go. Now it'll stay. So if I pull this down now, as you can see, that level's coming down. And that's what that means. That's post fader. That's after this fader. Okay. If I come over here and I put this pre-fader, you'll see the fader affect one of these signals and it will not affect the other. As you can see now, when I pull it down, the one side goes away and the other side stays right where it was. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump over to Wing and we'll look how we set that one. Okay, guys, so here we are in Wing Edit. And I don't know why Behringer does this, but on the rack, you turn the USB thumb drive one way, and on the Wing, you got to actually flip it over. Okay, but it's no big deal. So we're going to bring this up right here. So what I have routed to this, if we get out of this just for a second, I'm going to come up to routing. I'm going to go to output there. So I got the main left coming in the first track. And then I've got my Zoom bus, which is actually going to my Camtasia software that's actually recording this video. And then on number 3, I've got it going to recorder. Now, this is my buses down here. Okay, so that's how we get there. So if we come up here now, this is how you set your input levels off of these faders. So as you can see right here, that first one is our main. You notice the meter over here, it's going into the yellow a little bit. If I pull this down just a hair, you'll see that come down just like, you know, there's no yellow there now, but I still have plenty of headroom. Same thing over here with Zoom. If I pull this down a little bit, you're going to hear the volume drop in this video. So I'm going to raise it back up, but look at the meter right there. Okay, so we just bring this up, and I'll use the compressor on this when I get it in the Reaper. And you'll never even know that I did this, only because I told you. Now let's go to bus number 3. This is the one to where if we jack it up, there it is. You can see it clipping right there. So if you have an issue with your recorder, it's because you do not have your input set properly, nor your fader position. Okay? Now, I can't reiterate this enough. This has been the longest running debate I think I've ever heard in my life. On these digital mixers, when you come up here, there's a reason you put your inputs to around that negative 18 at the loudest point. Now I'm running a little bit hot here, but it's because I'm doing this video. So if I wanted to pad this down just a hair right there, bring it up at the loudest point, that's golden right there. That's where you want to be. If it's the drum and you're smacking that snare, that's a different story. On our percussions, we run that meter around a negative 10 to a negative 12, simply because of the metering system on these mixers. But if it's a vocal, everything, keyboards, it just doesn't matter at a negative 18 except percussions. And when you do that, if you come down here and look now, you'll see these meters stay just exactly where they're supposed to be. And I can raise this master up just a little bit. When you notice, or you may not know this, with digital recorders like the Zoom H6, it has an actual backup where you can set it, and it'll set it at that negative 12. Okay? When we record, when it's going into your DAW, you've got your input set to a negative 18. It's going into your DAW to negative 18. And people say, well, I can't hear it when I get it into my DAW. Well, that's because you have to go in there and you have to mix and master it. But this is how you set the levels coming into your Wing digital mixer or your USB thumb drive. All right? Take care. God bless. And we are out of here.